Oh, let me start appropriately. Give y'all a little, well, give y'all an intro. Where's my intro? There
What
it
up, what up,
is.
what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27.
Good as night, right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating a drink. Look a damn mess, just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no.
Oh, I'm here. Hello. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Oh, hey Ashton. Hey Fayette. You say you coming out of the bushes, Ashton? Child. Separating truth from lies. Real entertainment news. So glad to see you. So glad you're here. Hey, Listasia. Everybody. Hey, what's going on? We're here. We are going to talk about some things we saw as we traveled through Al Gore's good internet. Definitely going to hit some politics. Hey, Belize. Can I get some shondos in the chat for my girl Belize who's here? Missed you so. I'm glad to see you. Um, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. Somebody was calling me. Thank you so much for entertainment news, but so glad that you're here, Belize. Miss Whitty. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So we're gonna talk about some things. We're gonna talk about some things we saw in the blogs and things as we travailed through Al Gore's good internet. We're definitely gonna hit up some stuff dealing with politics. You know how I am. I'm passionate. We get real passionate in here. We definitely look at it from the black perspective when we talk politics, and we're going to do that today. Got a story, a continuation of the story that I had a couple weeks ago for y'all. Y'all are going to be interested. Hey, Jacqueline. Hey, everybody, as y'all come in the room. Thank y'all so much for coming in the room. I'm not going, hey, there she is. Nappy Child is here. She's the head mod. Y'all make sure. Act right. Head mod is here. So let's talk about some things, okay? So continuation from yesterday. Hey, Locked Queen. Silhouette challenge is still going on. I saw some people do it over the last 24 hours, and I was like, you probably should have kept that to yourself. I saw some people who have said that they have um have teased that they're going to be doing the silhouette challenge, and I was like, you might not want to do that. You can still send it to me in my DMs, but I saw like 4 or 5 people yesterday who teased that theirs is coming, and I was like, oh, yeah, don't do that. Anyway, it is getting out of hand. Some of them are trying to be like comedic and stuff like that, and this is getting real stupid. Like, I'm just like, first of all, can we get a size criteria on this? If you're gonna be a male doing the silhouette challenge, you need to, you know what I'm saying? There needs to be size criteria put on that. That's first and foremost. Okay. Second of all, some of the females that are doing it now, this is no slight to my women who are plus size. But when you switch over to the red light and it's a silhouette and it looks like a bag of money or the 20-pound garbage bag filled with garbage, that kind of defeats the purpose of a silhouette challenge. Like we were looking for Coca-Cola bottle, not a 2-liter bottle of Czech strawberry. Child. I saw that one. I saw that one where she dropped down on it. I saw the one where what's the guy whose name I can't remember. Remember the little boy? He's grown now, but remember the little boy who did that song Juju on that beat or whatever? I think his name something Hill figure he calls himself. I think it's don't make me lie. I think it's like Zell Hill figure or something like that. But I know that I saw his and he Zay Hill figure something Hill figure. I think it's and then Z. I think it's Zay. But I saw him do one and he had where he was busting down some chick, which is laughable because he's always naked on screen and naked on Algo's good internet. But I'd be like, bro, you not that big. But he sure get a lot of views and stuff. I ain't gonna hate on the man and all his, you know, money that he making. Go ahead and make your money at it. Go ahead and make your money. So let me get to the first story. First story is a little easy. We're going to save our politics for last. Okay, we're going to save our politics for last because y'all know whenever we get into politics, y'all always have me on here for a minute, for a while, and so we're gonna save the politics for last. Um, so the first story I saw, and most of these I saw yesterday once I got off live. Um, is about your boy, and I can say your boy because generally this guy is pretty well liked. Um, I mean, he's not bad for business. He's not bad on the eye. He's not bad. People really don't have a big issue with it. He's pretty much kept his image up to par. Hey, Amber, is Ryan Seacrest. Ryan Seacrest is quitting hosting duties for E News's red carpets and stuff like that. And you know, pretty much after Joan Rivers died, it switched over to Ryan Seacrest. And he was pretty much doing it again. You know, Ryan Seacrest was like Steve Harvey. They all had like 142 jobs down there to Hollywood, where in New York, where they were, traveling, they were bi-coastal, not on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. The morning they're in LA, the evening they're in New York, and things like that, or vice versa, and everything. And they both had podcasts and radio broadcasts and shows multiple that they were hosting and with him doing red carpets and all that. I don't know how they do it, but and he's pretty much as we know, Ryan Seacrest came to fame from American Idol. He started off on season one. It was him and some other dude. Because it was two hosts, if you remember that first year. And then after that, they was like the other dude, because the other dude didn't really fit. He wasn't easy on the eyes. He was kind of clunky even with his hosting. And Ryan Seacrest went from there. Hey, really B. So he's quitting hosting duties for Enu's red carpet. And I don't I think there's gonna be a void. Now we said that when Joan Rivers died, that there would be a void there. And if you remember they tried to have her daughter, I can't think of her daughter's name, host for a little bit. I can't remember her daughter's name. Joan Rivers' daughter. Remember they tried to have her do it and it just wasn't the same. And Ryan Seacrest kind of filled the void and fit in. And so we've gotten that he's a professional when it comes to um red carpets, when it comes to hosting, emceeing, when it comes to being able to just talk and put on and things like that. So he's been really kind of like that guy in the 21st century to do those kinds of things. Melissa Rivers, thank you, just a petty mess. Thank you for jumping out the bushes to tell me. Thank you, Abby, as well. Hey, Essential. So he's doing that now. I wonder now. My question is this. Now we said we're gonna separate the truth from the lie. We're gonna mix in a whole lot of opinions in this as well. Um, I wonder. if there's other thing not business wide or contractually going on with him. But I just wonder with the language that they used in it, it's if it's not something that he may have going on personally. Okay. Um, maybe, and I'm not saying it's salacious, it might be a health issue, or it might just be, hey, I'm getting old and I need to take a step back and not, it's just not enough hours during the day. Now you're right, Abby. Joan Rivers did used to read the kids down. And what they started doing was, instead of just having Joan Rivers, they had a collection of people, and Ryan would be like the conductor, making sure that all of those collective of people were there and would play their role, do their job. There was, one person that focused on just the stylistic parts. One person was there to just to read the people. One person was there for engagement and talking about who shaded who. They had different people, a coalition of people doing that, and he was kind of the orchestrator of how to fit all of those people in. But I just wonder, maybe he got himself a new boo to break his back in. Him and his wife and his family, feel like they're losing out on time with the kids. Oh, child. Anyway, so we're gonna so I would venture to say, or I think this may give him a window or an opening to go into a new venture. And I want to see if this means that he's going to be branching off into something new. Usually, a lot of times, that's what it is. They, say, oh, I'm, going away from that. They put a little bit of space in between. Um, and then they go to a new venture. Ryan Seacrest, yeah, quintessential. He's no longer going to be hosting the red carpets for E News with those with the Kardashian skanks. Yeah, but I mean, he's been phenomenally successful. Now you can't take that away from Ryan Seacrest. He has been phenomenally successful in what he's been able to do, and so I don't know. We'll see how this works out. We will see how this works out. They have not named anybody to replace him. There'll be lofty shoes to replace, but with all things, you find somebody and you plug in it and plug and play. This ain't their last season. We'll see. It's going to be interesting how red carpets and things like that go with COVID and restrictions and stuff, social distancing and things like that. So, um, I'm curious to see how that's going to go, and that might have factored in on um his decision to do that. Um, he is kind of like our generation's Dick Clark. Um, there are a lot of people who they try and put in that role, but I would pretty much say, and I hate when we do that. We say, "Oh, that is our generation, so and so." I just would say, I definitely think in the vein of Dick Clark, he is very influential in Hollywood. He is the quintessential Hollywood host. There's a gaggle of them. I mean, you have the Anderson Coopers, the Carson Dailies, to a certain degree, Andy Cohen. Hey, little baby. But of those, I probably would put Ryan Seacrest above the rest of them because he comes at it more so from a um entertainment perspective, whereas when you see Anderson Cooper do it, he comes at it from a more news angle, like it's more rigid with Anderson Cooper. With Carson Daly, I don't know. I think part of me with Carson Daly is I can't get Total Request Live TRL out of my head. So my brain can never make the transition for Carson Daly from um from TRL to actual real, you know, journalism. I just picture him back in the day, shirtless on some flotation device on the pool, talking about all right with the number 9 song of the day. Da, 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 back in the TRL days. I'm just saying. That's how I feel about. You know who I wanted to, if we're gonna talk about TRL and MTV, uh a VJ who I wanted to make it that didn't, who I really loved, was Ananda Lewis. I loved Ananda Lewis um, from back in the MTV days. Selfish because she and I shared the same last name, and because she was a good, strong black female who gave you both sides. She could play the black angle. She could play the angle for the people descended from the Caucasus Mountains. She could, hit you from both sides. Whereas downtown Julie Brown just couldn't do that for me. But I really liked Ananda Lewis, and I really wanted her. I thought that she would go further, um, and she didn't. Ryan is a super mega successful producer and host. Yes, he created the Kardashians and countless other. Yes, yes. And like I said, that is true. And one might, and the reason that I say sometimes we don't want to limit people to saying that they're the next so and so because they may end up being bigger. Um, I could see Ryan Seacrest going down the path of an Oprah, where he becomes a stratospheric media mogul and can turn that into becoming a billionaire at some point, develop and maybe have his own network. I could really see him doing that, um, like Oprah did. I really could see him doing that. Child, I loved me some Ananda Lewis. Oh, she did? I didn't see it. I did not see it. I'm gonna have to go look for it. But yeah, I loved me some Ananda Lewis. From what I understood, and I'm going to go and watch the interview, and maybe she'll enlighten us more. But from what I understood about Ananda Lewis, there was politics involved with her departure from MTV. Um, and there was programming changes from MTV as well. MTV no longer was playing music anymore, but that's a whole different story. But yes, certainly, that while we are still in the vein of talking television, um, Nick Cannon and Viacom have apparently mended fences. She said what happened in an interview. Okay, okay, I'm definitely gonna go watch that interview. Viacom, CBS, and Nick Cannon have mended fences after the whole anti-Semitic comments on his podcast. Um, Now let me backtrack for a little bit on this story. Okay. If you recall when this first went down, Nick Cannon doubled down at first in the immediacy of him getting backlash. And then later on, and this was in the span of like 24 hours. Later on, he came back and I'm not gonna say he was backpedaling and pussy popping, but I guess you are backpedaling and pussy popping if you start off by doubling down and then you come back and say, "Oh, I'm changing my mind." Because you can't double down. Now, if it's one thing, if after you first put something out, you kind of get backlash, and then you say, "You know what? I probably should have thought through that better," or I had a misstep, or it was a wrong decision, or a lapse in judgment, and so forth. But um now I did hear about the breast cancer too, but but from what I understood, it wasn't just the breast cancer. From sources, and I like I said, I'll let her tell her own story. There was politics involved as well. But with Nick, he came back after the double down and said, you know what, let me apologize. And if I offended anybody of the Jewish community, this, that, and the third, so forth and so on. Um, I want to apologize and I want to, take that back because I don't want to offend people. Now, and this was last July. So now CBS and him have mended fences. They're gonna start coming. Viacom, CBS has mended fences. They're gonna come back and they're going to. Although he never stopped doing um um Masked Singer. Um, although he did contract COVID, and the first few episodes of season 5, he's not going to be on. They're going to have Niecy Nash doing it as he gets over COVID. But um um no, I'm not. Lastasia, I don't even attach, hey Joshua, Nick Cannon to Mariah Carey's money. Nick Cannon had money when he got to Mariah Carey. When him and Mariah Carey married, he already had his own money, so he didn't have to use Mariah Carey's money. As a matter of fact, it is alleged, I don't know how much truth to it, that even when they got married, a part of the prenuptial agreements was that their monies would not mix. The only monies that they would have that would mix and mingles would be like trust funds and stuff like that for their children. But he had his own money, she had her own money, and they both um handle all of their own business and stuff like that. So um I I definitely would never attach him to Mariah Carey's money because he got his own. Um Now, there's good and bad to this, okay? The good to this is the fact that so many times the black artists or the people in entertainment and that are black have one misstep and they're written off or and stuff like that and all of this, that, and the third, and nobody ever hears from them again, and that's not fair. But then you have ass clowns that are descended from the Caucasus Mountains and that are allowed to do any and everything that they ever wanted to do, give some half-ass scripted apology, and they never lose a day of work. And they never lose a day of work. So, hey Monk Chip, hey Boo. I hey Joshua. Oh, did I say hi to you, Joshua? Hey. Um, Child, he don't give me "I'm every woman, it's all in me." He gives me "I am woman, hear me roar." Shouts out to Helen Reddy, going back old school. "I am woman, hear me roar. You see me in the streets, and you know I'm a whore." No, that's not what the words say, but she do say "I am woman, hear me roar." Oh man, but so they have mended fences. The Wildin' Out will be back with new episodes. Um, he still has the green light for his talk show that he wants to do. And as you all remember, when he did um substitute duties for Wendy Williams when she was off, people were talking about him taking over her show. If you recall, when he filled in for Wendy when she was out for that extended period of time, he did so well that the networks were saying, if she don't come back and if this don't work out, we'll just get him. Because the numbers when he was on there, the ratings and the numbers when he was on there was so much higher, even than some of Wendy's shows. They really talked about that. And so that's how he ended up getting the green light for his own show. So And I don't think they want to. The people see it for Nick Cannon. Hell, I see it for Nick Cannon. Child. Just give me good 3 hours with Nick Cannon, and I can show you some things. Anyway, but he's the gregarious type. He's ingratiating. He is someone who can captivate you. He can move a um an agenda. He can move the numbers. White, black, blue, and purple people tend to like him. He's comedic. He's engaging. All of those things that make for a great television personality in the vein of a Ryan Seacrest, that who we were talking about earlier. Right, Monk. He's just a likable person. And not bad on the eyes. Yes, some of the staff even like Nick Overwinded. They did. Um, well, Joshua, Nick will tell you there are times because he does have, I forgot what disease he has, but he does have a disease that sometimes he'll wear the turban because he's having uh things that are going on with his disease, and that's when he first started to wear the turban and things like that. I forgot what disease he has. One of y'all will probably put it in the comment. So, hey Mimi, what's going on, Mimi? Um, yeah, lupus, yes, thank you. And thank you. I knew somebody was gonna tell me. But he talked about how sometimes when he has inflammations, it, you know, messes up his scalp and his hair sometimes, and so that's why he does that. And different people's bodies react to lupus differently. I've seen several people who I know with lupus. Now you learn that lupus is not common. It's more common amongst females because of it attacks part of the X chromosomes. So it's more common in females since females have XX. But you do have it in males as well, since it's part of what it attaches to deals with the X chromosome. So yeah, that's why you'll see him wear. And he even talked about sometimes there have been times where he's going on camera, and he's had to put on more makeup than he may have liked to, but just to give the aesthetics that he needs for television. Yeah, but he's talked about that, Joshua, for a few years now. He has been very open about that. He's been very open about that. And he's been able to fight through it all, live through it all, and tell the story. But yeah, he's talked about that. And so I just couldn't remember what disease it was because it just slipped my mind. Hey Shauna. Yeah, he no, he has. He's talked about it in interviews. He has. Yeah, Tony Braxton had that. And people sometimes with lupus, they'll go through where they're good for a few for several months, and then they'll go through where they're like shut down, have to like back away from the world for a while because they have, the lupus, affects them, or they have a stint with lupus and things like that. So hmm um right. Trick Daddy has lupus as well. He does. Trick Daddy does have lupus. He does. Um, so yeah, so the point that I wanted to make was I am glad that network executives didn't do Nick Cannon like they have had to do a lot of other like they've done a lot of other black people that have maybe had a misstep or two. Um I think that they're not going to give him what he wanted because remember he told them, oh, y'all better give me full rights to wilding out. And when he was ranting in the immediacy of the situation, oh, y'all gonna give me full rights to wilding out and this, that, and the third, and that's mine. And it was a whole big thing, and he backpedaled off of that and pussy popped off of it and so forth. um, and came back. But I don't think by any stretch of the imagination you will be expecting Viacom to give him back all rights to Wild Now. I don't think that. I think also Nick saw the forest through the trees and said, "Hey, I make a considerable amount of money now, and I don't want to stop making that considerable amount of money." I thought for a certain, I mean, I agree a little bit, Joshua. I thought after so many years that perhaps Nick would just slide into maybe EP only of Wildin' Out and give it off to someone else on the show to do more of the hosting of it like he does. But you know, this is his baby, so I ain't mad at it. Um, I think it does make you tired, Lastasia, and so that's why a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of people who have lupus that say they don't know how Nick Cannon does it with all of the jobs that he has and how much time is required and the probably the amount of energy that he has to expend. Hell, I'd be having a hard time managing my personal life, work, and my YouTube and my organizations. I people when I tell them what my days look like, they be like, I don't know how you do it. And I don't have lupus, so I can imagine. But um and right, Wildin' Now has given a lot of opportunities to people to get put on. A lot of YouTubers have come off of YouTube and gone to Wildin' Out and have made a lot of people put a lot of people on and gives them that the eyes that they need to transition into television work and or movies and so forth. So um yeah, I applaud CBS and Viacom for doing right by him and allowing him to come back because he did make an apology. And I did feel like he was open and honest about his apology. But I think, he had, reasons to be open and honest about it. He was like, yeah, I'm looking at the way my bank account is set up. Not that he's hurting for money by any stretch of the imagination, but when you think about people who are wealthy are always thinking about, okay, I need to have residual income to always be looking for the next source of income. So, and there are things like, for example, if L Teddy 27 some days get, big or something like that, a lot of my early videos are going to have to be taken down. Now, probably people have probably already screenshot them or video recorded them and probably going to let them all out the bag. And I'm going to have to, as you all say, backpedal and pussy pop off of it. And y'all gonna be looking at me like, really, L Teddy? And y'all gonna say I'm a sellout at that point. But I don't think it's so much as being a sellout, so much of understanding that in order to widen your net of people who will come over and watch you, you do have to tone certain things down. And we talked about that when we talked about T.S. Madison getting on television. Certain things you just gonna have to tone down. You're gonna have to tone down. That's just the way it goes. Um, I give you a praise, and y'all are gonna be able to say, yeah. If I would ever get that big, y'all will be like, oh, y'all seeing that version of L Teddy 27. Y'all don't know the old L Teddy 27. I used to go in and read the people down. Y'all will be able to tell the story. Who know? Probably with this channel, if this channel should get really, really big, there'll probably be things that we do in our while we're small that we wouldn't do anymore when we get big. And well, I always said Wendy Williams did tone it down, moving from radio to television. She toned it down. Oh, she absolutely toned it down. Moving from because the stuff that she used to do on the radio, Wendy Williams, they showed the little one thing with Total. That's probably the only thing she let them put on that movie. But there are a lot of instances where Wendy Williams was gonna get her ass fucked up. Fucked up. But that ain't my problem. But anyway, so Nick um is back on. I'm curious to see his talk show and how that goes. Um I don't know if she still knows correct. I mean, Wendy Williams has one of those Dionne Warwick noses. Well, we call them quarters. You know, people with noses like that. When I was little, we used to call them quarters because we used to say you could stick quarters in their nostrils. And so she has one of them noses like a Dionne Warwick and some of those other people that have really big nostrils, which lends itself to, you know, doing the booger sugar booger, whatever they call it, booger sugar or whatever. Anyway, but I'm curious to see how his talk show goes, whether it'll just be traditional talk show that we come to know, or if there'll be a different spin on his talk show and how he does that. I'm really curious to see um how that goes. Yeah. So child, that Whitney call in. Oh, I remember that. Wendy Williams has several call-ins that you would be like, oh, yeah. And sometimes the celebrities would call in on the call line. And I remember one time, who was it? She think it was them, and they were like, "Oh no, it's me." It wasn't the Whitney one. It was another one. I can't remember. I was like, "Oh, girl, oh boy, child." I think if Dion was gonna go, she would have been gone. Child, the Judge Mathis. Did she have one with Judge Joe Brown too? I don't know. I can't keep up, child. It's a whole lot. Child, bathtubs. Hell, shit. That family got a lot going on regardless. So shouts out to Nick Cannon with that. Um what and since we're talking about people with questionable rap careers and people who we look at them as rapping, we was like, okay, let's talk about Nelly and the drama he has going on with the Lunatics. Now, if you're not sure what's going on, one of the members of the Lunatics, Ali, has claimed that Nelly, cost them money, and Nelly alleging, and I'm being very clunky and just broad stroking this, that Nelly, basically cost them money and stole money from them and doesn't want to get the group back together and this, that, and the third. And so Nelly is the reason that he's not doing as well as he could, and other members of the Lunatics are not doing as well as they can. Nelly came back and Nelly said he went on a radio broadcast in St. Louis. And Nelly said, "Hey whore, hey boo, who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you talking about? Hey boo, last I checked, Ali wasn't a part of the Lunatics when we started this group. Ali was not a part of the Lunatics when we were traveling all over St. Louis and other cities, going to colleges, trying to get put on. Ali was not a part of the Lunatics when we got signed to our record deal. Ali wasn't a part of none of that. You were supposed to be helping with management, but you weren't a part of the Lunatics." Child. Nelly says, "Bruh, I don't owe you a goddamn thing. Kiss my ass and die slowly, whore." Ali, if I remember, I was trying to remember him too. If I remember, wasn't he the one who was kind of dark skinned with the dreads? Because I know it was one named like Kaiwan. It was another one named City Spud. I remember City Spud. But It was another one. His name started with a K or something. I don't I don't remember, y'all. I think it was like Kiwan or Kaiwan or something like that. I remember those three, and I remember Ali um was Murphy Lee was the one with the dread. Okay, so Murphy Lee had the dreads. But Nelly made the point that the Lunatics was the three of them, even until the point that they started that they got the record deal. And the other members came on after they had already been signed and after they already had a record deal. Um and the group was upset that initially, like most groups, when you have the one person that ends up doing the solo album and everybody else mad because they ain't making that kind of money. And so Nelly came out and said, hey, y'all was mad about me being solo. And I went to the record label and told the record label that I needed a album for the group. And the record label gave me that album for the group, but the record label took that out of my revenues and out of my money. They paid y'all for my money. And so that whole record deal that was done came out of what they had, the whole, pot of money that they had for me, solo album. So if I'm Nelly, I probably would be on the same uh page. I'd be like, bitch, the fuck, what are we talking about, Ali? Sit your ass down, because we don't know who you are. Nobody knows or remembers who you are, and nobody cares who you are. You just mad because you still down over here trying to collect pop secret coupons in order to pay your rent. Nobody's checking for you, Ali. Nobody remembers who you are. Let's be clear. Unfortunately for you, Nelly was the breakout star. Nelly is the only reason we even know who the Lunatics are. And as you can see, we having a real hard time naming the other members of the Lunatics or even remembering what you look like. This just sounds like a jilted and jaded lover. That's what it sounds like to me. The motherfucker is mad that he ain't making no money. And so it was coming up, I think, on like the 20-year anniversary of Country Grammar. So his hating ass is over there looking and saying, oh, because when you do like a nostalgic 20-year re um when you come up on, redistribution of something like that, he's probably gonna have some old people who say, oh, let me go download that album again, or even some younger people that didn't know that wasn't, familiar with it and said, oh, this is cool. Hey, Mr. Fit Brown dude. And he's probably looking like, oh, he's about to make some money. Let me capitalize on this money, or let me clout chase, because this is classic clout chasing. This is classic clout chasing. And I'm glad Nelly came on and said, bitch, the fuck? You were not even there. See, it would be another thing if dude was there from the beginning, grinding and everything. But I was with Nelly. Bitch, where was you when we was out here grinding? Where were you when we was out here going and Nelly talked about when they was doing car washes and stuff to raise money to go to different cities and stuff like that so they could try to, be in some talent show and get put on. You like, that bitch wasn't there? That bitch wasn't nowhere. So I don't blame you, Nelly. I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all. Cause then Ali tried to retort and said, oh, what you mean? This is my group. And I would have been like, if I'm Nelly, I would have been like, this your what? This what? Girl. If I would have been like Nelly, that's fine. It could be your group. You can have it. Because Nelly was somebody without the Lunatics. Oh, okay. You on your break? Okay. Child, you right, Monk Chip. He is probably tired of that. Probably tired. Child. A mess. That's a whole mess. That is a whole mess. I don't blame Nelly, but we'll see how that shakes down and how that, comes out, but Nelly was like, "Girl, I'm not here for you. Girl, I'm not. I am Diana. I am Beyonce, and you are Latavia. Please sit down somewhere, okay? Please sit down." And I don't even like Beyonce. Y'all know I don't even see it for her like that. But he's probably looking at like Latavia. Listen, no. It reminds me of like my favorite episode of one of my favorite episodes of Got to Be Real when Beyonce switched groups from Aretha's group, or Hate Aretha as we like to call her group, to um Patti LaBelle group. And Beyonce was like, as a parting gift for me leaving your group, Aretha, and going to Patty's group, I brought you some gifts. And so it was Kelly and Michelle. Um, she said, "What am I gonna do with these two, with Kelly Nowhere Land and um Michelle who? Wait, what?" And it was so the way I'm not getting it right, but the way Aretha Franklin read them down, like, "Girl, what I'm gonna do with them? Like, who are these people? I have no use for them." Like, and that's how I feel about Ali. Like, who are you? We have no use for you. Child. She probably did write some song. I ain't trying to hate on Latavia. It was Beyonce and her daddy who hated on Latavia. I ain't hate on her. I don't listen. This story, we've seen dozens of iterations of this story over and over and over. One of the members of the group break out. The rest of the group is mad, broke down, busted, and disgusted, jilted, and jaded. And it is what it is. Child, Aretha treated everybody badly. That wasn't Aretha. Hate Aretha. Hate Aretha was not to be fucked off with. You talking about the definition of a diva? That was Hate Aretha. Child. Hate Aretha used to tell them, "Oh, we recording the album. If we're using my own recording studio, it's not gonna happen. I only recorded my own recording studio." What? Child, Hate Aretha ain't play with them. Child. So that's what they say is going on down there to Nellyville. Okay. Yes, gowns, beautiful gowns. Hey, dark chocolate. Royalties is how Latavia is getting by, child. I mean, but really, she's only getting royalties probably from that second album. Cause that first album ain't do nothing. That first Destiny Child album was garbage. The second album, which was the album with Bills, Bills, Bills and stuff, was their breakout album, the album that sold. Hey, a wonderful January. Um, the third album was Survivor, wasn't it? Child, child. I'm just saying. Anyway, so now that we've gotten some celebrity stuff out of the way, let's start to drift more into today's politics. Gonna try and let me get me something to lubricate my throat with um before I drift into today's politics. All right. Oh, all right. So y'all, we still drinking on Gatorade because I like Gatorade. Snacks of the day. Cheez It snack mix. Now I'm about to go real old school, okay? Don't judge me, but I've been eating these and they so good, and I feel like y'all about to judge me old school wise. Don't judge your mama. Don't judge me. They've been giving me life and some lifesaver. Today is not the sours. Today is the wild berries. Judge your mama. Don't judge me because I feel like people are judging me. I feel like people are adjudicating me, and I will not be adjudicated by you people. I guess I will be. It comes with the territory. That's fine. That's fine. I know y'all are judging me. Judging me. Now I have this whenever I eat my little snacks, my original chips, what I do is I get like one of my uh, I take like don't judge me now. I take like a little seasoning. Like just now I went and got some of my lemon pepper seasoning and I sprinkled it on there. So now my chips have a lemon pepper taste to them and they're so good. Mm, mm. Now we have lemon pepper. Anyway, mm, y'all over there judging me. No, that's fine. Now, now, Mr. Fit Brown Dude, if you would come over here and give me a personal workout or personal some personal attention with getting my body in order, I might listen to you, but you talking to me from way across the country. I mean, come give me the attention that I need in order to make the changes that I need to make in my life. I'm just saying. You know how to reach me. Anyway, um, so Google has decided that because it's Black History Month, because now everybody want to lay claim to being so engrossed in blackness, and everybody wants. Hey, Stephanie, a parts of everything that that it means to be black. To celebrate Black History Month, Google is adding a new way to help users find and support Black-owned businesses. And it's going to be a little heart. Well, let me show y'all what it look like. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I want to show y'all what it sounds like. Hey, Jason, what's good? All right. So, and that way, when you go there, you'll be able to when you go, you'll be able to say, "Oh, that's what it looks like." So, hey, watermelon sugar. If you look, oh boy, on Google, it will look like this. Okay, so that's the symbol that they're going to use. I don't know how I feel about the colors. Was that an attempt to be melanin? because it looks like pinks and burgundy or whatever. I don't know what colors those are. All of my makeup people who be over there at Abby, y'all should be able to tell me what colors those are because y'all are into the colors. But that's what it's supposed to look like. Mm-mm. Joshua, Google has said that when you search Google for businesses, they're going to use this symbol to let you know whether it's a black-owned business. Now, let me start with the good. We're gonna start with the good, and then we're gonna go from there. Good thing is I like it. I like the idea. I like that you're doing it. Um, should have been implemented years ago. I applaud it. Way too late. It is kind of tilted. I don't know why it's tilted. I don't know. You know what, Jason? Don't make me go down this road. You know I can easily go down this road. Okay. That's why I'm starting off good. I applaud Google for doing something that is good. It's good to let us know, just so you know, this is a black owned business. I'm here for that. However, now that I done got the good out the way, you think it's tilted to make it look like a B? I didn't see the B. I mean, I'm going back and looking at it. I can put it back up again so that y'all can look at it, but I didn't see the B until you said maybe to look like a B. I didn't get that. Put it back up. I just don't get the B. Now, they did have a Black History Month logo up. I saw that BHM. It was like blue, yellow, and red, I think. But it was only up for like February 1st. A mess. Just a mess. Um, here's the problem. Here's where the problem starts. You know what's about to happen. The Hispanics and Latinos are coming next to say, "Oh no, you're not gonna have a you're not gonna have something to talk about black owned businesses without having a Hispanic owned businesses. Well, what about the Jews? Well, what about the Asians? Well, what about the Native Americans?" And usually I'm already side eyeing, right? I thought about a booty or some tits myself, watermelon sugar. I'm just saying. But you know they're about to come out the woodworks. And when they come out the woodworks, either one or two things is gonna happen. Either they're gonna scrap it all together, or they're just gonna introduce a feature that lets you know the origins of that business. Now, here's my concern. There are a lot of businesses that started off as black businesses and are no longer black businesses anymore, or they were bought out by white people, and they still have the same name, still have the same ambiance, atmosphere, everything, but the ownership is no longer the same black people that it was, although we may still think it is. Now, my question is, what is the vetting process that Google is going through to make the determination that this business gets that symbol? That's one. That's my first question. There's a lot of businesses in black neighborhoods that look and sell themselves as being black owned businesses that are not black owned. You think there's not going to be some Russian bot or some white supremacist group that's not going to um try to fall under the cloak and guise of a black owned business? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. That's true too, Joshua. That is very true. You do have some people that say, "Oh, that money going to black people? I don't want no parts of it." My question is, would a black owned business get to opt out of it? Like, I could be a black owned business and say I don't want that designation on my business for those reasons. For those reasons. And is it just automatically there because this is Google's platform and they decide to do it now? I want you to know Yelp was already doing it. Yelp has been doing it for a few months now, where Yelp, you when you go on Yelp, I forgot what the Yelp symbol looks like, but there is a designation when you go on Yelp that lets you know that it's a black owned business as well. Um, I probably could look it up, but I'm too busy got food in my hands. Now, depending on what part of the country it's in and the way race relations are going in this country, it could present a problem for those businesses because if you're just Jedediah and his boys down to the Proud Boys meeting place deciding on where you're gonna go for your next, venture down the merry little world of white supremacy, you might decide, well, let me see what a black owned businesses is in my town, and let me go shut they shit down and tear they shit up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Y'all know I ain't lying. But my question is, I want to know the vetting process. I want to know if a business can opt out of this. I have so many questions. Um, Let me see if they said when it's going to be implemented. Implemented. I think. Well, it already started. It started on February 1st. Hmm. Interesting. Now, somebody put a black owned business in the comment section, maybe from your area or that you know of, and I'm gonna Google it and see if it comes up. Somebody put one. I'm trying to think of one myself as my fat ass sit here and eat all of these gummies. Lolo's Chicken. You know what? Is that a real place, Jason? I'm not doing this with you. Hey, hey, Sims. There go the boo falling out the bushes. Hey, Sims overdose. Okay, so Lee's Kitchen in Raleigh, North Carolina. All right. Now I have two of them. I have one that came up on Capitol Boulevard, and one that came up on Raleigh Boulevard. Click the first one. I don't I don't see no symbol or nothing. Let me show y'all what I see. Hold on. Let me show y'all exactly what I see. I saw Kiki Wyatt was on Bigo. She need to find something to do with herself. I'm not a big Kiki Wyatt fan. Go ahead. You got a million kids to be taking care of, Kiki Wyatt. Bigo just is the well, maybe that's what she's trying to make money for. Let's see. Now, when we looked up Lee's Kitchen, it says Jamaican and Southern food in a strip mall. I'm looking to see where the little symbol would be. Oh, somebody gave them 1 star. Burned, not crispy fish. The fish tasted burned. The oil was clearly dirty. At what point does a business chef, at what point does a business chef cook decide to change the oil? Overpriced for poor food. Child, she was mad. Who was that? Charlie. Charlie was upset at it. Child. Mm, yeah. I don't see the little symbol. Maybe it didn't start yet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I don't see the little symbol. Let me click the other one. Mm-mm. I ain't see no symbol. Wait, I have given this place a lot of chances, and I can tell now that the service and food is just subpar. Made to order food is served undercooked, which is dangerous when ordering pork. And prepared food has been sitting out all day. Imagine a crusty buffet line. The management and staff seem overwhelmed. Beware of this place unless you want food poisoning. I feel sick after eating undercooked pork from this location. There are several better restaurants such as Jack's Seafood on New Bern Avenue and the new Golden Crust on Garner Station. In Garner Station, I don't like Golden Crust. I'm not a fan of Golden Crust at all. I do not like Golden Crust. Anyway, why y'all making the people mad over there, huh? Sims overdose. Y'all over here making the people mad. Child, let me see what y'all talking about hey Shawana in the comment section. Black owned businesses need to do better, child. Silent, silent partner. Mm-hmm. Right. Listen, the way I just read those things, listen. I might have to do a whole segment just reading some of the one-star comments off of some of these businesses because that was hilarious. Wait, we're gonna try this one more time. Somebody give me another place that they like to go to in their city or a place they don't like to go to. So I can read another couple of the one-star comments because that was too funny. It was so funny. They were so upset. Did she say something like, think of a crusty buffet line? Mm-mm. I ain't never go there for the fish or the scenery. For me, when I'm eating, and I come from Miami, that has everybody from the Caribbean. Like we have a whole slew of Jamaican restaurants, whole slew of Bahamian restaurants, whole slew of Haitian restaurants, whole slew of Cuban restaurants, whole slew of Puerto Rican restaurants. Like anything in the Caribbean, we have a whole bunch of them. Dominican restaurant, a whole bunch of them. So Royals and Philly, okay. If I look it up now, child. So we got so many, and so that's why when people say a place like Golden Crust, shit is garbage. Because I know so many authentic Jamaican restaurants. Hell, there's more Jamaicans living in Miami than it is in Jamaica. Royals in Philadelphia. Royals Restaurant. Is that the name of it? Let me see. Is it Royals Restaurant? I'm pulling it up, y'all. Give me a second. Royals Jamaican Restaurant. Wait a minute. Let me show you what I'm seeing. So you can tell me if this is the place. Because some of these comments, dear God, it's the comments for me. It's the comments that give me life and give life abundantly. Let's see. So is this it? Is this the place right here? Yeah, fine Jamaican cuisine. Okay. Okay. So wait, let me see something. No, I didn't mean to do that. Wait, how do I get to the comments? God, I need to see the comments. Wait. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here go the good stuff. Here go the good stuff. The reviews. Okay. I don't want to see all these good comments. I'm looking for the bad comment. Okay. 2 star. This place is not all it's cracked up to be. Mixing sweet and spicy is an art. So I'm still in search for a place that can really season wings. The sweet and all of the drippage at the bottom, not the drippage at the bottom of your bag messing up your car. Ooh, the heat is on top of your skin. The heat is on top of the skin of the wings, not the meat. Not seasoned, not cooked in. The meat is undone. Ooh. The baked macaroni and cheese is cut into portions, not crumbled into little sections in a platter. And get this, it's supposed to be cheesy. Again, seasoning. The curry chicken is not flavorful. It's just curried gravy. Cook your meat. Chicken should never be pink. Oh, not that she said cook your meat. God forbid I risk another try. I will be taking a picture and sending it to the health department. Girl, she said she's sending pictures to the health department if you need her. I was excited to try this restaurant since it's close to my home and I pass by it often. Sorry to say I was disappointed. Ordered a large oxtail platter with mac and cheese, cabbage, and a side of rice and peas. Now that sounds good. Now that sounds good. The platter itself was small, making me wonder what the actual small platter looked like. Oh, so you didn't order a small, but you got a small. Oh, the oxtails were chewy, not tender at all. The mac and cheese did not seem freshly made. The cabbage was underseasoned, and the rice and peas was dry. I guess you have to ask for gravy. We ordered a little while after they opened at noon, so we definitely was expecting better quality and freshness. I would try them again, but will not order the oxtails. Hopefully next time will be better. Well, that was nice. Oh, let's here we go. This a 1 star. Yeah, this about to be a good one. Let's see what she got to say. Verified gem. It would be nice that when you place your order and have to wait 30 minutes, that they tell you certain things are no longer on the menu. I ordered my food with a side of mac and cheese, waited 30 minutes, went to pick it up. The lady came outside and said, "There's no mac and cheese. What other side you want?" And stared at me like I know, like I know at the top of my head what other sides could replace mac and cheese. Didn't even apologize or give me a menu to look at. She was in a rush. I guess to give other people the order as if I inconvenienced her, when in fact I drove 30 minutes and waited 30 minutes for a platter I can't eat because I refused to eat it without mac and cheese. It was extremely rude. Mind you, this is the first punctuation I've gotten to. All of that was all sans periods or commas or anything. Oh no, I'm sorry. There was three exclamation points after the first sentence. But after that, everything was one long sentence until we got to these this ellipsis with the three dots. It was extremely rude. I knocked on the door and another gentleman came out and I asked and explained I explained I didn't want the platter without mac and cheese. He proceeded to tell me, wow, as I was waiting, other people ordered mac and cheese and it somehow ran out. I ended up canceling the whole order. I want to support black businesses, but it's stuff like this that this either it's stuff like this either when one bin is running low, make some more or tell them tell them to wait. Simple. Mind you, it was a peak hour. It was 6:30. I waited until 7. I don't know, y'all. See, when you read these things, it makes you not want to go to these places. Child, we're gonna have to do a whole listen. That was our segment on bad dining. We're gonna have to do a bad diet. We're gonna add that. We're gonna uh integrate that into maybe like silly Saturdays or something. We'll integrate that into silly Saturdays or something and do bad dining where we talk about we'll read the 1 star comments. Just a mess. Just a damn mess. Tapenade at Lambert Airport. Hold on. That's the last one. It's the last one. Please. Wait. What's it called? Hold on. Lie. Tapenade. Okay. Okay, so let's see. This our last one, y'all. Y'all let me find this gem. Apparently, this may only work for larger brands because the small ones don't know about it. Google Shea Moisture so we can see what's really going on. Okay, give me a chance. Give me a second. Don't let me forget, little baby. I know you're not to Google Shea Moisture. Okay. All right. All right. So let's see here. View all reviews. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here go the good stuff. Bar closed by 6 p.m. Only people eating at the tables were staff. Take your business. Take your business. The Schlafly in Terminal C. I don't even know what that is. I don't hate it. They don't have any salad, so I couldn't get what I needed to eat and had to go somewhere else. The staff was very friendly. The food is good, but the staff is not bothered about their customers. So much arrogance and race discrimination. Interesting. It just put me off. We do not come for free food. I pay to get good service. Learn to treat your customers well. I got to wait in line 10 minutes for them to tell me they are all out of soup, baguettes, and flatbread at 5 p.m. Hmm? Worst airport meal we ever had. Salmon wrap was dry and gray. Tomato caprese baguette was wet with two thin slices of tomato and two balls of cheese. Come on, balls of cheese. Lime chicken was barely edible and service was slow and not friendly. Ooh. Ordered roasted veggie feta flatbread for calling themselves a Mediterranean restaurant. I was expecting flavors to reflect that. Instead, I got a very confused dish, which was okay at best, definitely teeny weeny insides for the price that they charge. Oh, not teeny weeny. Did he say teeny weeny? Angie Godfrey, rude service, horrible pre-made food. Arugula was spoiled on our sandwich. Oh, not the spoiled arugula. Child. I love a good baby arugula in my salad. They were still cold even after the lady toasted them. Very slow service. Several people put their food back and walked out. Do not waste your text or money here. Why would you waste your text? Maybe you meant time. Horrible service by the person that bakes the pizzas. Very disrespect with customers. If I was the owner, I fired her now. Wait, I need you to speak English because I'm firing you at writing a review. Just firing you. The staff was initially rude. Then, when I was ready to order, they were too busy standing around talking while I stood there. I ended up just leaving and going to another restaurant where I received good service from a friendly person. I'm not sure I've ever just walked out of a place in my life. I'm leaving this review mostly for the owners of this restaurant to know what is going on in their establishment. It looks like I'm not the only one that has received extremely poor service. Yeah, they got a lot of bad reviews. Just finished a just finished a abysmal lunch here. Did he mean abysmal one word? Whatever. Guy on the register was friendly and helpful, but the girl with blue tape around on her nose was horrible. Not that you described her and said her blue tape on her nose. I ordered some Tuscan something. Guy starts fixing it. Then the girl tells me they are out of that sandwich when I go to pick it up. This is after she rudely tells me they are out of everything else I try to order. Wife was waiting at the table, so Blue Nose, not Blue Nose, goes and yells at her if she is going to eat there or not. Staff mostly busy showing each other pics on their phones. Ooh, first and last time for us. The people are hot. $20 for two coffee, sweet roll, and a salt and a small water. Child, of all AI food was pre-made. All food was pre-made, but dry. But I can't. I don't, see, it's the grammar for me. It's the grammar for me as an English teacher. All right. So, oh, I was supposed to look up what Shea Moisture, see if that comes up. Shea Moisture. I don't see the little symbol on Shea Moisture either. At least not on my computer. I don't see the little symbol. It's not there. Yeah, I don't see the symbol for Shea Moisture. All right. So let's get a little bit into politics. I didn't even know we've been on here that long. And then we'll get off. Politics of the day. Politics of the day. Politics of the day. So for our politics of the day, um, remember a couple weeks ago, when Biden first got elected, and we talked about the it's like they make hair products and skin products. I mean skin products and stuff like that. Um, Biden had one of his first executive orders that um rescinded the findings of the 1776 commission or whatever. So what's happening now is because Republican governors are hell bent on revisionist history, they are still upset. Mind you, the 1619 project came out, what, 2 or 3 years ago? I know it was at least 2 years ago when the 1619 project came out. Because I think it came out 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Almost sure. Anyway, the 70 and the 1619 project was spearheaded by the New York Times, but they worked with Yale. It got a Pulitzer Prize. And Nicole Hannah Jones was the one who spearheaded it, and so forth. And it talked about how this country was built. Child, we're not going to talk about her. We're not going to talk about her. We talked about her yesterday, but it talked about how America was built on the backs of slavery, that this country would not be what it is if not for slavery. The fact that there is no America without slaves that had to come over and build this country and help start the financial system that we know today. The the coffers of this country was built on slavery, which is why the southern states always felt like, we don't give a shit how y'all feel up in the north. We're funding this country. And you would often have, when they did have the first Congress and constitutional conventions and stuff like that, there was this coalescing of the northern states to the southern states because they needed their money. They needed their money. They needed all of the money that the southern states was making, sending textiles and sending all of the stuff that they were growing on plantations over to Europe. They needed that money. And so that's why when the 13 colonies first formed these yet to be United States of America, there was this coalescing where they just said, okay, we're gonna let you do what you do and you keep it moving, we're gonna keep it moving up here. The slaves bill, listen, Plymouth let's be clear. Plymouth Rock is not in the South. Okay? Plymouth Rock is not in the South. Lower Manhattan, if you did not know, Lower Manhattan was one of the places of the largest slave auctions in the Northeast. It with Lower Manhattan. A lot of the North's money, Lower Manhattan is the financial district for a reason. A lot of the finances for the Northeast in this country, the few funds that the Northeast got, came out of Lower Manhattan, and which had one of the largest slave auctions in America. Let's be clear, slaves were all over America. It wasn't just the South. And see, that was the thing. The North would toot their nose up at the South, like they were just these horrible people. When you go up to New England, you will find out real fast what kind of country we live in. Real fast. Um, so yeah, I would venture to say, and that goes along with I think what Jason just said, what we know to be modern day slavery and subjugation came from the North. When slavery ended, yep, there was a whole lot of horrible things going down in the South. But you better be clear, there was a whole lot of horrible things going on up north. Martin King even told you the worst ever protest he ever did was in the North. He said it was worse than anything he had ever experienced. When he went up north to Chicago, to Philly, to some of those other places, some of the things that they had to endure and the way that their lives were threatened there was way worse than what they experienced even in the South. So yeah, I don't want us to get twisted and forget that this the like and you and I read the whole report, the whole 1619 project. I did read it, but I don't want us to be lulled into thinking that slavery was just a part of the South. Oh no, the North had a lot to do with it too. And even if you wanted to go with that, which is still not the whole story, but even if you talk about the fact that the North benefited or took monies from the South and used the slave trade and the money of the slave trade to make to build their own coffers and to build up their respective states and things like that, it's still just as horrible. Whatever. Anyway, um but back to our story. According to the Associated Press, there are proposals in Arkansas, Iowa, and Mississippi to ban the 1619 project out of that state and out of any type of K through 12 education, as well as state universities, state colleges and universities. They also, just to give you some particulars, a measure in Arkansas sponsored by Republican Representative Mark Lowry called the 1619 Project a quote a racially divisive and revisionist account of history that threatens the integrity of the Union by denying the true principles on which it was founded, end quote, and seeks to prevent it from being taught in school. Let me tell you some of the things that they're putting in place. In Mississippi, not Mississippi, dear God, in Mississippi, Governor Tate Reeves has proposed putting $3 million toward a quote patriotic education fund, end quote, to combat revisionist history. And here's what he said, quote, across the country, young children have suffered the indoctrination in far left socialist teachings that emphasize America's shortcomings over the exceptional achievements of this country, end quote. Reeves said when announcing the fund. So here's what we have. We have America in all of their whiteness and their privilege, being America and all of their anthropomorphism. Okay. Because we as a country, especially white people, we as a country want to sit up here and castigate every other society and civilization for all of their shortcomings, every other government for every misdeed and all of the horrible things that we did, while turning a blind eye to things that we did and still are currently doing. And then want to rewrite the history books as if these things didn't happen, because you want to highlight how horrible the Holocaust was, and the fact that all of the Jews were killed, and they were, and it was horrible. It was awful. But you often forget to mention all of the African people that got killed in the Holocaust as well. All of the mixed um, people that were of mixed races that were also killed as well in that. You don't want to talk about that. You neglect to talk about the millions of Native Americans that were slaughtered. And dare I talk about the fact that slavery was responsible for the genocide for almost the complete genocide of a whole group of people. So you want to have revisionist history because you only want to concentrate. You know what? I talked about this on Teacher Project 2.0, when we talked about SPED and the difference between how they assess a student with an IEP and a student with an EP, how they assess the student that they call special ed versus how they assess a student that is deemed gifted. If a student is deemed special ed and has an IEP, on their report, all that they can talk about is what the child's weaknesses are and how they're going to accommodate their weaknesses. If a child is deemed gifted, they get an EP. You are not allowed to even mention their weaknesses on that report, on that document. You can only mention their strengths and only mention how you're going to cultivate their strengths. I can venture to tell you the IEP child is usually the black child. The EP child is usually the white child. That's what we got going on in these yet to be United States of America. So we got these governors out here that are put into positions of power because of voting. Let's just be clear. There's a whole lot of black people in Mississippi. We can get a whole lot of black people out to vote and a whole lot of black people to put some of these people out of office. Oh, there is no wanting to acknowledge that this happened. There is white people want no acknowledgement of slavery. Black people are the only group of people who are constantly told, do not remind people what your people went through. Every other group of people are like, even the Native Americans at this point, yes, tell how you all were, the atrocities that happened to the Native Americans. Absolutely, Jewish people talk about the Holocaust as much as you can. Absolutely, Asian people talk about how horrible it was for Asians when they were in concentration camps, if you want to call them that, here in these yet to be United States and stuff like that. And they are, all of them received their own version of reparations, and all of them were allowed to have some kind of recourse or given back to by this horrible government of ours. But black people are always so, oh no, shh, how dare you talk about slavery? Because let's be clear, let's get down to the meat and potatoes of it. White people are always the ones who want to tell you, oh, see, this is why I don't like poor people, because I am self-made and I had to pull myself up by the bootstraps and make it for myself. And black people don't want to do anything but complain. This country didn't make itself make its way by itself. Let's be clear. This country did nothing on its own. The country got everything that it got. The country financed itself. The country became what it was. Even if we talk about the start of the Revolutionary War, it is documented. The start of the Revolutionary War was because a black man, Seacrest addicts. The documents that you all herald as so solemn in this document that you claim were written by Thomas Jefferson was really written by a black man, and Thomas Jefferson plagiarized it. Every achievement that you have in this country came from us, and you stole it and took credit for it. So I'm not here for you to try to have this revisionist history. And this is what they want. They want to rewrite. It's like when you have the jilted, when you have a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it is you have, and maybe they cheated in the past. And then later on down the line, they always want to say, well, why you got to keep bringing up the cheating? Why you always bringing it? You never going to get over the cheating. I got over it, but I don't want you to forget either. I don't want you to act like it ain't happened. I'm just telling you what I know. If y'all had left to ourselves, black people were the wealthiest people on the face of the planet. There are no known civilizations that were more wealthy than the civilizations in Africa. Documented. Left to ourselves, we are a beautiful people. We are the superior race. And I hate to sound like people gonna say I sound like I'm a whole hotel. I can sound like whatever I want. I could be. I'm a whole ass whore. I'm a whole whore. But hotel maybe not. But I'm just giving you the truth of the matter. These people, that's in Mississippi. In Arkansas, they're looking to prevent the 1619 project being allowed in schools, and also looking to they've already said that in Arkansas there are, when they do textbook adoptions, they are looking for textbooks that do not include slavery. A mess. That representative that I told you, Mark Lowry in Arkansas, he's going further. He introduced a bill that would ban schools from teaching about social justice for one racial group. Um, so I don't even know where to begin or how to even start to go in on that, because there's just so much there. Like, really, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. But we can't talk about people and their flawed views and notions on race when it involves black people without leaving the great state of Texas out, because they will never be under. Oh no. Texas is always here for the shits. They're always here for the fuckery. So Texas Republicans are considering measures to dictate how slavery is taught. Republican Governor Greg Abbott told lawmakers last week that students should be taught, quote, what it means to be an American and what it means to be a Texan, end quote. He didn't go into detail about what that meant, but y'all already know this is Texas we're talking about. Oh yeah, they want no parts of the conversation, Stephanie. No parts. Why would they ever want to do that? And see, this is the stuff that I'm talking about when you see me screaming from the rafters about when these administrations get in positions of power. And every time they get in positions of power, there's always a more pressing issue. This includes Obama. This includes all of the other Democratic presidents. We get these people in there, and every time they get in there, there's always something that's more pressing. When Obama got in there, oh, we have a more pressing needs because we're dealing with the Great Recession. And we got to address universal health care with the Obamacare. So all of that was more pressing. Then what happened? 2010 happened. They lost power, and now, oh well, we can't help y'all anymore because we're not in a position to do that anymore. So I don't know what to tell you. When Clinton got in office, Clinton was dealing with a little mini recession of the country when he got in, and all of their. And then after that, the crime bill came, and Bill Clinton doubled down on the fuckery, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna really lock y'all up, so we don't have to hear y'all talk to us about what y'all issues are." And then there was the whole impeachment that started, and there was everything. Every Democratic administration is way more important. Oh, we have more pressing needs. Oh, this is a little more important now. I'm not negating the fact that COVID is important, but I see y'all managed to find time to be concerned with um the Iran deal, trying to get that back in order. Y'all found time to be concerned with the dude over there locked in prison over in Russia. Y'all found time to be concerned with what's going on over in Myanmar and stuff like that. But us as black people, we gotta wait because there's COVID and there's the pandemic, and y'all issues just gotta wait for a little while longer. Y'all seem to be able to multitask and address several issues at one time when it's convenient for y'all. And this is what I'm talking about. So please understand that you are going to continue to have that same thing. There's always going to be something else. It's always going to be something else that's more important and more pressing. They always have a convenient excuse as to why they can't do what they need to do for black people. They always have a convenient excuse. Child. But I we talked about that earlier on this channel a couple weeks ago. Thank God Raphael Warnock got in there so we could still have at least 3 black people in the Senate. And we already know Tim Scott don't want no parts of you black people. Tim Scott, as black as he is, wants no parts of what y'all got going on as black people. So now that leaves us with, hey girl, hey, Cory Booker and Reverend Warnock. Because Tim Scott is not here for y'all. It's a mess. It's a whole mess. In Iowa, that was the other state that I forgot to mention. What are they doing over in Iowa? Um, it doesn't matter. They're doing the same thing in Iowa. But this is why we cannot let our guards down. Did that happen today? Please let me look. Because I know Cory Bush recently moved her office. She recently moved her office because of your girl Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I'll look it up. I just don't have time right now. But these are the things that are coming along, and what's scary is they are trying to, by them not addressing these things in schools, that means that they're the ones who are trying to do the indoctrination. They're the ones that are trying to teach black children that, oh no, America has always been good. America is great. We've always done right by the blacks, as they like to call us. So you living in these states that have a reputation of all kinds of horrific atrocities upon black people. But they want to tell their own story and leave out the finer details. I'm going to give an example This example is going to be real controversial. I'm going to tell you that now. People may not like that I make this analogy, but I'm going to make it anyway. It's just like when you talk about Jewish culture and the Old Testament, where they talk of where this is a group of people telling the history of their own group of people. And whenever you write the story, it's made to make your group of people the protagonist. I'll give you one example and I'll let y'all go from there. You got a people who, and I told you I got a beating for this when I was a little boy in Sunday school. You got a group of people who say God told them, gave them these 10 commandments that they couldn't violate. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's possessions are part of those three of those 10. But then they go on a whole campaign stealing from people, killing people, and coveting their possessions and land. But I thought that was part of the three parts of the biggest 10 commandments you could not violate. See, that's what I'm saying. When you have this, oh, well, we violated that rule. Well, let's write in a story where it was okay and it was sanctioned. And there's this revisionist history because you're telling your own story. And so you're going to be anthropomorphic and you're going to make it look advantageous to your group. Like the Wendy Williams story. She wrote this biopic or whatever, but she's going to only include parts that make, I mean, she's going to include some salacious part, but it's going to make it where she is the protagonist and you feel bad for her. It glosses over the horrible things that she sometimes was just alleging. There was a lot of times Wendy Williams was just alleging things, had no documentation on it. And Wendy Williams is in no way, shape, form, or fashion should be seen as, oh, she's definitely somebody who I should feel bad for. No, there's no feeling bad for Wendy Williams. Absolutely not. Anyway, this is what America is doing. This is your country. These yet to be United States of America. Um, right, Joshua. uh, Joshua, get out my head, Joshua. Please get out my head. Please get out my head, sir. Get out my head. But I don't know. I don't know. Y'all know how I get when I get on these rants. Y'all know how I get. Anyway, we about to get off. We've been on here about 2 hours, way longer than I expected. But we about to get off here, y'all. Put some shadows in the chat before we get off. I want to thank y'all for being here. Update on Ty. Ty is good. He's in Vegas right now, celebrating not his birthday, but someone close to his birthday. He got over COVID. He's over COVID. He'll be back when he gets back home, but he's partying in Las Vegas. I told him don't go out there and get COVID again, messing around. But I've been following up on him, and he's had on his masks and stuff. I still ain't finding Nappy Child. I ain't really look, but I'm sure if I look hard enough, I'll find it. Yeah, Ty had COVID. He did, but he got over it. But yeah, that's all we got. Shonda's in the chat. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Like always, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions made to the channel. As I always say, I love y'all and I love on y'all. And with that, until next time, y'all know tomorrow morning we have Silly Saturday. We'll get that done tomorrow morning. And make her do what to do. I might Silly Saturday might be a little earlier because I might be going to brunch. I'll see, but I'll put a notification about it. So Until next time, that's all I got for y'all. Try to get some reviews out today if I can. If I can. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out. Press the button, Teddy. Press the button.